All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Altcoin Daily. Here at Altcoin Daily, the reason you subscribe is for our daily videos on everything going on in the cryptocurrency space. It's very important that you watch this entire video. Gotta watch the whole thing. I'm about to try to prove to you, as in I'm about to try and make a case, provide support, provide evidence that Bitcoin is a great investment. Specifically, what I mean by that is, although I suspect that we will enter this year with a lot of sideways price action, I think we're going to end 2019 with a bull run that will begin an uptrend that will last for the next 3 years straight, possibly with a parabolic rise in the year 2021. Now, something that I want to try to convey to you right up front, something I want you to take away from this video, is that in my opinion, right now is not a time to sell. The time to sell has came and passed. Now is a time to buy, hold, or accumulate, which is what I'm doing. I'm accumulating. And full disclosure, what I'm about to show you is another person's work. He's an expert. His name is Bob Loukas, and he's been a professional trader for over 25 years. And more than that, he's an expert on market cycles. And I stumbled on his video just yesterday. It just got posted yesterday on January 11th, 2019. It's very fresh. And at the time of recording, this video has less than 230 views, has only 16 likes, and it's on a channel with only 12 subscribers. So I got to get this to your attention. This video, this information in this video, it's too good for you not to know. Plus, and this is also very important, I want to try and help this guy. I want this guy, because it's his ideas, it's his thoughts, I want his video to gain traction. So I'm going to leave a link to his 25-minute video in the description. Do yourself a favor, do him a favor, watch his video. He's the expert. I'm going to sum it up for you, but also make sure you head over to his channel and watch it, and also make sure you like his video so that it's his video that possibly, gets this traction and gets out there, because this is great information. Okay, let's get into it. I'm going to sum up his points, and I'm going to play you parts of his video. All right, so let's start things off real straightforward. You know that the market goes in cycles, and there are big cycles, there are small cycles, there are cycles within cycles. And for now, let's focus on Bitcoin's 4-year cycles. Now, maybe something you didn't know is that we're just ending a 4-year cycle, and we're just about to begin the next 4-year cycle. And to fully understand what is possible or what is probable within these next 4 years, we need to look back and see what happened in the other 4-year cycles, in which there's only been 2. We have one that started in 2011 to the end of 2014, and we have one that started in 2015 until the end of 2018, or right about now. And we really can't go before 2011 because we can't really analyze 2009 or 2010 because there just really wasn't a lot of participation in the Bitcoin market at that time, and we really don't have a good price history back then because Bitcoin really didn't have a price. It was just a collectible for nerds at that time. However, in 2011, that is when we started to see more participation, a lot more. We started to see exchanges being developed, most notably Mt. Gox, and for the first time, we could analyze price data. So let's go through Bitcoin's 2 4-year cycles, and what you're going to find, and what I want you to notice, is that in each cycle, Bitcoin will spend about 70 to 75% of its time rising, and about 25% of its time declining. And each cycle is right skewed, meaning that the high point, the all-time high of that cycle, does not happen in the center, in the midpoint of the cycle, but it happens skewed right, meaning that for the first 3 years approximately, Bitcoin will go on a run, and for the last year, Bitcoin will go on a decline. Okay, so let's get into the first cycle. All right, so the first cycle begins in 2011, goes to 2014 for a total of 201 weeks. And we spent 142 weeks, about 3 years, on an uptrend. The final few months, we had that parabolic rise for a total of 70% of the time in an uptrend. And then 30% of the time, or 59 weeks, in a downtrend. Let's get to cycle number 2. All right, so cycle number 2 begins in 2015. And although a lot of people associate at least the beginning of 2015 as part or a continuation of the prior bear market, it's actually the start of the next 4-year cycle. So as you can see, the cycle starts off pretty flat. A lot of sideways price action at first, and I'm sure at this time, just like right now, there's a lot of despair, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of hopelessness. But besides that, there's a lot of accumulation going on, not a lot of selling, and this is when smart money was accumulating. And then after several months, we start seeing the price definitely go on an uptrend. And that uptrend lasted 152 weeks for about 75% of the 4-year cycle, and the uptrend ended, as you remember, late 2017 when Bitcoin rallied up all the way to almost $20,000, another parabolic rise. And what you will notice is that just like the first cycle, we have this 3-quarter uptrend and 1-quarter downtrend. So this is us right now. And what we have right now is what we're in is this 50-week decline, which is very similar to the 59-week decline that we saw in the first cycle. And I'm not here to say that, now the price is just going to go up. I'm not here to say that we won't go any lower. Personally, I think there's a very good chance that we will go lower than $3,000. I don't know. The point of this is to show you that right now, what we're seeing in the market is normal, and that we're probably very close to bottom. All right, so what does this mean for us? What does this mean for smart investors right now?
If you panic sell right now, you're going to regret that for a very long time. People who sold out right at the end here, they held on. They regretted that because they never will be able to get back in. They saw the market move 50% from the lows, even 100% off the lows very rapidly, and then seeing price 100% higher from the lows from when they sold out never allowed them the opportunity, at least in their mind, to get back in and establish a position. And that was unfortunate because many of those people also came back in later on in the cycle when it was well and truly in the advanced stage of a bull market trend, and got in because they just couldn't take missing out on future gains and everybody talking about how much money they had made.
All right, so we're just about to enter this new 4-year cycle. What can we expect in the next 4 years? I'm going to let Bob explain it to you.
I'm going to zoom out now and just give you an idea of what we're looking at potentially in the future here. So again, let's go in and get some drawing tools here. I want to show you, first of all, I want to draw out from this low. I want to go out. Let's go 150 weeks. Okay, because that's kind of 145. Let's just leave it at that. I'm going to take 145 weeks. I'm going to take my blue bar and draw it out there. And then I'm going to take kind of the same tool. And I'm going to draw that out for 55 weeks. And that's going to represent the bear phase. Okay, in total that should be around about 200 weeks, or 210 weeks if I've done that correctly. So I'll just take this just to confirm. All right, there's 200 bars, 199. Okay, so that's close enough. That's going to certainly serve its purpose. I'm going to unlock the auto. I'm going to kind of try and bring this out and give you an idea now that if we're looking at a repeat here in the coming weeks, either starting from a low this week or a low in February, I think at this point, when you look at the grand scheme of things here, it's kind of irrelevant. But now what we're looking at here is, first of all, another kind of winter period, right? So we rallied back up, but then it kind of chopped sideways for probably half of the year, come back up, and then it'll start to break out of that range. And this is where it starts to build back up and build the base up here to test the $20,000 level. And then I would think chop sideways again for a little bit of time there before it begins to then come out and gain a lot more attention and a lot more of a leveraged speculative bid at this point. So from this point, it's kind of a stealth move. Certainly, at least the base around the $5,000 to $7,000 area, knocking up against all this. What was support would be now resistance. Once it breaks through that, it's not going to have much attention. People have already moved on. ICOs have, for the most part, either run out of funds, dried out, capitulated, sold off. The really successful projects will remain, but in general, this is the cleansing period of kind of the bear market or early bull market. This is accumulation phase for new institutions or the savvy investors. And then when we start breaking out and it starts to regain some of that price between 7,000 and 20,000, you're going to start to get more and more interest, more media attention again, until back to this $20,000 level. Now, if you look at past charts, if you look at this sort of move here and then this move, that's the equivalent phase. Once it starts to get back up to the old highs, that's when it begins to accelerate. And this is when it begins to sort of go parabolic. Let me see if I can move my chart higher now. I'm going to bring this up into this area here. Okay. I'm going to reconnect. So this is kind of, and obviously price, it's somewhat arbitrary at this point. I can really stop it at 80,000. I can go up to 300,000. I'm not trying to predict a price point in the future. What I'm trying to tell you is that from a time-based approach, we most likely will see another right translated 4-year cycle that's going to move up and kind of get up into this point here. I would say around about the $100,000 to $200,000 range. Why is that? Because at that point, we're looking at, from the breakout point of the prior bull market, it's a 10x extension. So kind of, $18,000, $20,000 level, a 10x extension gets you to $200,000. We had similar from this $1,300 level. We had almost a 20x extension. It was like a 15x extension, and we had similar extensions in the past from bull markets. So getting up into the $100,000 to $200,000 range is probably not unrealistic. Just a point on that, let's talk market cap. At $56,000, Bitcoin becomes a 1 trillion market cap. At over 110,000 becomes 2 trillion. That's a significant amount, but of course, in relation to gold, at 8 trillion, it's still only 20% or 25% of that number. And today, when you look at Bitcoin's market cap at $70 to $80 billion, it is really a drop in the ocean. Consider that some of the sort of mid-tier S&P companies have market caps in the $50 and $70 billion range. We're talking about just one company in the S&P based in the US that's not even in the top sort of 30 or 40. It has the market cap of Bitcoin. I think once you start to really wrap your head around that, you realize that we've all been focused on a nominal Bitcoin price for too long, and that has clouded the fact that Bitcoin is still grossly undervalued for the future potential that it provides. And that's also because there's been a lot of media attention on these sort of speculative 4-year bubbles that we see, and the fact that we have a high sticker price of sort of 18, 20,000. But also what we need to realize is that Bitcoin has been priced since inception. And one of the technology has been priced since inception. If you look.
All right. Like I said, link in the description. Go over and watch the whole thing. But we are early adopters. I am accumulating. And I really liked what this person said in the comments. He or she said, I don't see why this cycle wouldn't be time compressed compared to the last cycle. There is vastly more awareness, government action, industry build-out in this cycle. The whole space can move at the speed of software. Money can move at the speed of email. I really see the last cycle as the birth of awareness. Let me know your thoughts on this. All right. If you want to be a part of a channel that puts out daily content, feel free to subscribe to Altcoin Daily. Join the team. It is going to be a great year, possibly great 3 to 4 years. All right. I will see you tomorrow, my friends.